Hello and welcome to Cosmic Doll Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. Today we're playing Sonalyst Combat Systems Fleet Command, an operational level naval combat simulator. Please remember to like the video and subscribe for more great strategy and tactics content. And if you want to show your support with a donation, the links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. In this campaign, Oil and Water, we look at a series of fictional naval operations undertaken by America and its allies in the Middle East in the alternate 1990s world of Fleet Command. In this scenario, no-fly zone, US forces conduct no-fly zone patrols in northern Iraq. Following Iraq's defeat in the First Gulf War, Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein turned what remained of his military against his own people in a campaign of repression. One such group was the Kurdish people of northern Iraq, who had supported the US in the Gulf War and controlled valuable oil fields near Kirkuk and Mosul. The Kurds fought back against Iraqi repression by loyalist ground forces, and Saddam responded with aircraft and helicopters. He had previously used chemical weapons against Kurdish civilians, and it was feared he would do so again. In response, the US, Britain and France declared a no-fly zone, relying on United Nations Security Council Resolution 688. Iraqi aircraft were forbidden from flying inside the zone. The northern no-fly zone extended from the 36th parallel northwards. American and British aircraft continuously enforced the no-fly zone, receiving anti-aircraft fire from Iraqi forces almost daily, and responding with airstrikes against surface-to-air missile sites and other military installations. The 36th parallel is marked by a white line, representing the boundary of the no-fly zone. This scenario involves two types of mission. The first is enforcing the no-fly zone by intercepting and, if necessary, destroying any hostile aircraft flying in or through the no-fly zone. This is a defensive counter-air mission. The second mission involves SAM trap patrols designed to detect and identify SAM sites for subsequent destruction. This is a destruction of enemy air defences or DAD mission. NATO forces are based out of an airbase in Turkey, with support from a carrier battle group in the eastern Mediterranean. Intelligence suggests the Iraqi Air Force is operating out of a Syrian airbase using MiG-25 Foxbat and Su-27 Flanker B fighter aircraft. But the US does not know the precise location of the airbase. And Syrian and Iraqi SAM sites have targeted US aircraft enforcing the no-fly zone over Iraq. So, the US has warned both Iraq and Syria that it will now use lethal force against any aircraft crossing north over the 36th parallel, and against any SAM sites that present a threat to US aircraft. Finally, intelligence suggests the Syrians are manufacturing chemical weapons for the Iraqis to use against the Kurds in northern Iraq. Use of chemical weapons would be a war crime, so if the chemical weapons plant can be located, it must be destroyed. Mission tasking: conduct no-fly zone SAM trap patrols out of the NATO airbase in Turkey. Engage and destroy any SAM sites located in the operations area as defined by your intel message. Be on alert for hostile aircraft which may try and cross the 36th parallel. Avoid collateral damage to civilian sites. This is the area of operations. It is 1000 hours and the weather is sunny with clear skies. The mountainous region to the north is Turkey, with the Black Sea to the north. To the west is the island of Cyprus in the Mediterranean. To the southwest is Syria. To the south is Iraq, and to the southeast is Iran. This is a NATO airbase. In real life, there is no airbase here, as the area is a lake. The airbase hosts 16 F-15 Strike Eagles, capable of anti-surface warfare, anti-air warfare and strike missions, one already airborne, 16 F-16 Fighting Falcons, capable of anti-surface warfare, anti-air warfare and strike missions, one already airborne, 4 E-2 Hawkeye, one already airborne, and 4 EA-6B Prowler aircraft, configured for strike missions, one already airborne. In the air over northern Iraq is an E-2 Hawkeye. Operated by the United States as an airborne early warning aircraft, the E-2 Hawkeye has a maximum speed of 338 knots, maximum altitude of 37,000 feet, and range of 1500 nautical miles. Sensors include aircraft visual, aircraft early warning radar long range, and aircraft ESM long range. The Hawkeye is unarmed and vulnerable. For some reason, it is over Iraqi airspace, alone and without support. To the west is a two-ship patrol. It is led by an F-16 Fighting Falcon. Operated by the United States as a fighter attack aircraft, the F-16 Fighting Falcon has a maximum speed of 1200 knots, maximum altitude of 50,000 feet, and range of 2100 nautical miles. Sensors include aircraft visual, aircraft radar medium range, and aircraft ESM medium range. The Falcon carries two AGM-65 Maverick ASM, two AGM-88 HARM ASM, or high-speed anti-radiation missile, two AIM-9 Sidewinder air-to-air missiles, and guns. Second in the group is an EA-6B Prowler. Operated by the United States as an electronic warfare aircraft, the EA-6B Prowler has a maximum speed of 650 knots, maximum altitude of 41,000 feet, and range of 1100 nautical miles. Sensors include aircraft visual, aircraft radar medium range, aircraft ESM long range, fire control radar jamming, and radar jamming. The Prowler carries four AGM-88 HARM air-to-surface missiles for DEAD, or destruction of enemy air defences. The Prowler's primary role is as an electronic jammer. Far to the west is an American carrier battle group. To the north, conducting combat air patrol, is a pair of F-14 Tomcats. Operated by the United States as a fighter attack aircraft, the F-14 Tomcat has a maximum speed of 1200 knots, maximum altitude of 53,000 feet, and range of 1600 nautical miles. Sensors include aircraft visual, aircraft radar long range, and aircraft DSM medium range. The Tomcat carries four AGM-88 HARM air-surface missiles, two AIM-9 Sidewinder air-to-air missiles, two AIM-120 AMRAAM air-to-air missiles, and guns. In different configurations, Tomcats can also carry Phoenix and Harpoon missiles. They are accompanied by an EA-6B Prowler. We will call this group Strike Package 1. To their south is another three aircraft formation, also two Tomcats and a Prowler. We will call this group Strike Package 2. Lead ship in the formation is the USS Arleigh Burke DDG-51. Operated by the United States as an Arleigh Burke class guided missile destroyer, she is 460 feet in length with a beam of 57 feet and maximum speed of 32 knots. Sensors include medium-frequency active sonar, active intercept, surface ESM, visual, low-frequency passive sonar, ship air radar long range, ship surface radar medium range, and fire control radar. She carries 68 SM-2 surface-to-air missiles, 6 Tomahawk anti-shipping missiles, 10 Tomahawk land attack missiles, 8 Harpoon missiles, 8 Mark 46 torpedoes, 4 Mark 50 torpedoes, guns, and cannon. Arleigh Burke represents a good all-rounder with surface-to-air warfare, anti-surface warfare, strike, and anti-submarine warfare capabilities. Bringing up the rear of the formation is the USS Underwood FFG-36. Operated by the United States as an Oliver Hazard Perry class guided missile frigate, she has 409 feet in length with a beam of 48 feet and maximum speed of 29 knots. Sensors include high-frequency active sonar, active intercept, surface ESM, visual, low-frequency passive sonar, ship air radar medium range, ship surface radar medium range, and fire control radar. She carries 36 SM-1 medium-range surface-to-air missiles, 4 Harpoon missiles, 8 Mark 46 torpedoes, 4 Mark 50 torpedoes, guns, and cannon. Underwood has a strong anti-surface warfare and anti-submarine warfare capability, with some air defense capability. The flagship is the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower CVN-69. Operated by the United States as a Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, she is 1,020 feet in length with a beam of 235 feet and maximum speed of 30 knots. Sensors include surface ESM, visual, ship air radar medium range, ship surface radar medium range, fire control radar, and active intercept. She carries 24 enhanced Sea Sparrow missile surface-to-air missiles and cannon for self-defense. The Ike's main weapon is of course the Embarked Air Group. This consists of one squadron of 12 F-14 Tomcats with 4 already airborne, capable of anti-surface warfare and anti-air warfare missions, 2 squadrons totaling 20 FA-18 Hornets, capable of anti-surface warfare, anti-air warfare and strike missions, 4 SH-60F Seahawk helicopters, 4 EA-6B Prowlers, 2 already airborne, 2 E-2 Hawkeye, 10 S-3 Vikings capable of anti-submarine warfare and anti-surface warfare missions, and 2 ES-3 Vikings electronic warfare aircraft. Let's review the intelligence. The Iraqis have recently fired surface-to-air missiles at NATO fighters conducting no-fly zone patrols in northern Iraq, and are suspected of having several SAM sites along the northern border of the no-fly zone. Saddam is known for placing his military equipment near civilian buildings such as schools, hospitals, and religious training facilities. So, we will need to be careful and discriminating in our targeting decisions. Next, let's mark the boundary of the no-fly zone. At the 36th parallel. Using the Air Corridor tool, draw a straight line, click on the plus sign at the edge of the screen. Then change the width to 1 nautical mile. Military aircraft crossing north of this parallel may be targeted. Okay, let's start the scenario. We have an inbound bogey at Angels 3. The Combat Air Patrol moves north.
Affirmative. Can do, roger, out.
They are not equipped for a BVR engagement.
Roger, out.
2 inbound bogeys. There are a number of unidentified ground contacts in northern Iraq. The E-2 Hawkeye is exposed and vulnerable.
Can do, roger, out.
It heads north back to the NATO airbase. The NATO airbase orders an F-15 to launch.
This is Tower, permission to take off. Affirmative, out.
And another to Alert 5.
Can do.
And 2 more to Alert 15.
Can do.
And 2 F-16s to Alert 15.
Affirmative.
And 2 EA-6B Prowlers to Alert 15.
Can do, out.
The day is likely to involve air combat, and the base needs to prepare. More unidentified ground contacts along the 36th parallel. Radar emitters. Some appear to be surrounded by civilian buildings. These ones are in Syrian territory. An aircraft is taking off. This is likely to be an airbase in eastern Syria. To the west, a number of ground contacts on the northern Syrian coast near the Turkish border. The Southern Combat Air Patrol, Strike Package 2, now moves east towards the aircraft.
Will do.
The Northern Patrol, Strike Package 1, moves to investigate the ground contacts. These are clustered around the coast, probably civilian, although possibly some military assets. One contact is alone on the high ground, possibly a SAM site. If so, its radar can be jammed.
Can do, out.
The red dot under the contact indicates it is a radar being jammed. This strengthens the assessment it is a SAM site. A number of the coastal contacts are confirmed civilian. The Tomcat in trail launches an AGM-88 harm.
Engaging track 8, 4, 5, 9. Will do. Missile away, track 8, 4, 5, 9.
All coastal contacts are confirmed civilian. This missile is a radar homing missile and only tracks radars that are emitting, like a SAM site.
Kill, track 8, 4, 5, 9.
Hit and destroyed, a confirmed SAM site. This SAM site was the only threat to US aircraft ingressing into Iraq over Syria. The civilian contacts were a warehouse, piers, more piers, a dock, somewhat inland, a chemical plant, a power plant, an embassy, another embassy, a command centre, but not our target,
High priority tasking received.
a training facility, a warehouse, a hospital, glad we didn't strike that, and the Sonalyst Studios building. Nice touch. Sonalyst are, of course, the game designers for Fleet Command. The Northern Combat Air Patrol, Strike Package 1, also moves east.
Will do, out.
The SAM Trap Patrol heads back to the NATO airbase.
Will do, out. Can do, roger, out.
NATO needs to gain air superiority first. An F-15 Strike Eagle has taken off from the airbase. With 4 AIM-120 AMRAAM, it is equipped for BVR engagements.
Can do.
Another F-15 is ordered to launch.
Cleared for immediate takeoff. Wilco, out.
Let's review the high priority tasking. High priority tasking message received. Saddam has been launching aircraft from an airport just across the no-fly zone. Eliminate this target to stop incursions into restricted airspace. The airport is in Syrian territory. 2 aircraft are chasing the Prowler,
Will do, out.
and 2 are chasing the Hawkeye.
VID track 8, 4, 6, 7. Affirmative, out.
The F-15 is ordered to intercept and increases speed.
ID track 8, 4, 6, 7. Can do, roger, out.
The Prowler also changes course to provide electronic support
Out.
and increases speed. The Eisenhower orders a Hawkeye to launch to improve situational awareness around the carrier,
Launch aircraft. Affirmative. Out.
and orders the third strike package to launch.
Green deck. Launch aircraft. Will go. Affirmative. Out.
The inbound track appears to have lost contact with the Hawkeye.
Emergency racket bearing 178.
It launches a missile, but in the wrong direction.
Affirmative. Out. Can do.
The bogey is outside AMRAAM range for now.
Can do. Roger. Out.
The F-15 is flying through some spectacular terrain in the Turkish mountains.
Will do. Roger. Out.
The F-15 crosses the Hawkeye flying the other way, and prepares to launch AMRAAM.
It's history. Killing track 8, 4, 6, 7. Affirmative.
The inbound bogey has crossed the 36th parallel, heading north, and is a legitimate target.
Will do. Roger. Out. Missile away. Track 8, 4, 6, 7.
Fox 3. The AMRAAM streaks towards the target. Another F-15 Strike Eagle taxis to the runway at the NATO airbase. The pilot is eager to join the action.
Destroyed. Track 8, 4, 6, 7.
Hit! The AMRAAM splashes a Su-27 Flanker B. It crashes into the Turkish mountains.
Will do. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Two more Strike Eagles ordered to alert 15.
Affirmative. Out.
Seconds to launch the third strike package from the Dwight D. Eisenhower. Two Hornets and a Prowler.
Can do. Will do. Out.
The bogies to the west appear to have reacquired the Prowler and are moving to intercept. Another to the south is tracking the Hawkeye.
Can do. Roger. Out.
The Strike Eagle and Prowler both move to intercept the southern track.
Identify track 846 8. Will do, roger. VID track 8468. Can do, out. Can do, roger, out.
Another aircraft has launched from the suspect airbase in Syria.
Engage track 8468. Affirmative.
The bogey is within range, and the F-15 launches an AMRAAM.
Weapon away. Track 8468. VID is hostile air. Out. Will do.
The enemy counter-launches an R-40.
Will do, out. Will do, out. Destroyed. Track 8468.
Hit! The AMRAAM splashes a MiG-25 Foxbat.
Identify track 8466. Can do, roger, out.
Another F-15 Strike Eagle launches from the NATO airbase. And another moves to the taxiway.
VID track 8466. Roger, out.
The western bogies are definitely moving to intercept the Prowler. The airbase clears an F-15 for takeoff and moves another to Alert 5.
You are cleared for takeoff. Out.
On the Ike, an E-2 Hawkeye takes the lift up to the flight deck. And moves into position to launch. The F-15 is running low on fuel, but has 2 AMRAAM for the 2 enemy aircraft. And another F-15 is speeding to assist. Meanwhile, the F-16 Fighting Falcons are flying nap of the Earth on their way back to base. Spectacular scenery. Not quite within range.
Can do, out.
The Prowler jams the lead aircraft. the airbase reconfigures 4 F-16s for strike missions. The F-15 launches an AMRAAM at the lead aircraft.
It's toast. Kill track 8466. Can do. Roger. Out. Birds away. Track 8466. Affirmative. Can do. Track 8466. Identified as affirmative. Out.
The F-15 notches to the south. The enemy is a MiG-25 Foxbat and has launched an R-40.
Splash track 8466.
Hit! The lead aircraft is destroyed.
Will do.
The Prowler now jams the aircraft in trail. It loses radar contact with the F-15.
Take track 8465. Affirmative. Out.
The F-15 now turns to engage.
Take track 8465. Will do. Birds away. Track 8465.
Fox 3.
Will do. Out.
The F-15 breaks away. Jamming effective, and the enemy aircraft takes no evasive action.
Track 8465 is history.
Hit! Another MiG-25 Foxbat destroyed. The cooperative engagement tactic of jamming and missile engagement beyond visual range is working.
Can do.
The F-15 is low on fuel and missiles and heads back to the airbase.
Return to home plate. Will do. Roger. Out.
An F-16 prepares to land. Another F-15 has launched. It heads south.
Can do. Out. Returning to home plate. Affirmative. Out. Can do. Out. Will do. Out. Identified track 8477. Will do. Affirmative.
Another bogey has launched from the airbase in Syria. And a second. And the E-2 Hawkeye has launched from the Ike.
Can do. Out. Affirmative. Out.
It tracks west and increases altitude,
Will do.
and activates airborne early warning radar. This is a good time to pause the action for now and come back to the operation in the next episode. In this episode, US Air Forces operating from a NATO airbase in Turkey enforced the no-fly zone over Iraq, downing 4 Iraqi aircraft. Aircraft from a US carrier battle group destroyed a coastal SAM site, and 3 strike packages are heading east over Syria. In the next episode, US Air Forces must continue to enforce the no-fly zone, identify and destroy any Iraqi SAM sites, and destroy the Syrian airbase used by the Iraqi Air Force. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and donate, and stay tuned for the next episode.